This is the last video you will ever need to watch on healing your acne. This is everything that I wish someone would have told me in the 14 years that I struggled. This video is not a skincare routine. It is not a list of products for you to buy, but instead is a guide that I crafted just for you with real practical steps that you can take to support your skin, your health, and genuinely heal your acne. For such a long time, I wept over my skin. There were some days that I couldn't even look myself in the mirror. The shame was so heavy that I would sleep in makeup when I was with others to prevent them from seeing the real me beneath it. The self-consciousness was crippling. I was consumed by this cycle of hiding and hurting and feeling like I would never escape it. But I made it to the other side, somewhere that I thought I would never reach. And having been in the darkness that comes with acne, I want you to know first and foremost that I see you. Your well-being, both physically and mentally, matters very deeply to me. It's taken me a very long time to arrive here, but in retrospect, it was all worth it because every single painful lesson that I have learned along the way has now become a part of this offering to you. I've gathered all of the insights, all of the heartache, all of the wisdom into this one guide because I knew once I found a way to heal myself, I would make it my mission to help heal others too. So I want you to know that I am holding you gently in my arms in this conversation and that my only intention is one of love to guide you to a place of healing and happiness. With this guidance, I am 100% sure you will leave this video changed on your way to liberation from the shackles of acne. So without further ado, grab something to take notes because we're about to journey to a place of real deep healing together. You have arrived to safety. We're gonna take care of you. We're gonna get you right. Quick disclaimer that I do live my life guided by our plant kin and the wisdom of nature. In this video, I won't be recommending that you rely on Western medicine. In my experience, Western medicine doesn't view us as whole beings. It focuses on managing symptoms rather than supporting people who need and deserve genuine healing. My own journey with Western medicine has led me to things like birth control and antibiotics that ended up disrupting my ecosystem rather than balancing it and helping it find harmony. That said, I understand the accessibility to some of the tools I'll mention may vary. I'll be sharing both options that may require resources as well as free alternatives as well. So no matter your path, you can use these tools to gain insight, feel empowered, and even explore these approaches on your own. Starting off with what healed my skin the most and the foundation of healthy skin, which is getting yourself tested. Our skin reflects what is happening on the inside. It's our body's way of sending a little warning sign, a little signal, knocking at the door, saying, hey, something isn't right. I'm not feeling good. There's an imbalance here. There's a toxin here. There's inflammation. I need your assistance. I need your attention. Imbalances in our gut health, our hormone levels, vitamin deficiencies, and food sensitivities can all lead to inflammation, breakouts, and other skin issues. So by taking a closer look and addressing these foundational areas can really help us support our skin's natural ability to heal and thrive. Our gut is a very powerful organ and it's often referred to as our second brain. Our gut literally controls everything, and so if your gut health is compromised, most likely it's impacting your overall well-being. Starting off, I recommend that you request a comprehensive gut microbiome test. This can be the GI map test or a comprehensive stool analysis that can really help assess any imbalances in your gut bacteria that may be impacting your skin health. I've noticed that this is often a huge culprit when it comes to acne. Through this exact analysis, I discovered that I had candida overgrowth, which was part of what was contributing to my acne. And this likely stemmed from antibiotics I had been prescribed in the past to address my acne, as well as various foods that were exacerbating the candida overgrowth. Which brings us to the next test that you can request, and this is a big one, a food sensitivity test, such as the IgG test, and I think there are other ones as well. What this can do is identify foods causing inflammation in your body that may be linked to your breakouts. We humans often operate in the binary, and we like to categorize food as healthy or unhealthy, but it's important to recognize that different foods resonate with each of us in unique ways. A great example is quinoa, which which is generally considered a very healthy food. Yet when I eat quinoa, I get a lot of gastrointestinal discomfort, I experience bloating, and my body ends up in an inflamed state. This was a huge lesson in my health journey and my quest to heal my acne. While food can be medicine, it can also be harmful if you aren't attuned to what works for your body, what feels good for your vessel, as opposed to following someone else's dietary recommendations. When I had this test done, it showed that food I was eating on the daily, like gluten, cane sugar, eggs, were all high inflammation markers for my body, and therefore throwing my body out of balance and contributing to my acne. So there are foods that are generally known to trigger acne, and these are called high glycemic index foods. So some of those foods include things like dairy products, fried foods, fast food, soy products, whey protein, alcohol, chocolate. There are a few things that you should keep in mind. For instance, your reaction to certain foods may vary greatly depending on where you live. There are foods like wheat and other crops that are sprayed with glyphosate. I had to stop myself from raging, which is a very, very harmful chemical, a practice that may not be so common in other countries. Another reason why we have to watch what we consume and think about how it impacts our health and in causing our acne. Also remembering that our food is sacred, our food is our friend, our food is our medicine, an abundant gift from the earth. Many foods like dairy, chocolate, bread are all very ancient foods that unfortunately have been processed to the point of being unhealthy. So it's really going to vary on where you're sourcing those items. If you're drinking something like cacao, for example, and honoring that sacred medicine, it is actually very beneficial for your skin and your spirit. Whereas if you're eating something like a chocolate bar, not that a chocolate bar is bad, I think balance is key, which I'll get to, but just being conscious of the fact that it has been processed to a point of being considered an unhealthy item that could cause you to experience something like acne. Which brings me to my last point on this topic, which is that our bodies just simply don't thrive off of processed foods, and that's something that we do have to come to terms with, but balance is key. I've learned what my personal triggers are and the foods that my body doesn't react well to or like. When I do choose to partake in those foods, I do it with a certain understanding and acceptance that, okay, I may experience a breakout, I may experience a pimple because I am eating this and I know how my body will react, but also not letting the fear of a breakout or acne prevent you from participating in something or experiencing something that you really want to experience. I think there's just a need for balance there. Knowing how to listen to your body, but not living so strictly to the point where you're just not even having fun anymore. Yeah, it's a tango. It's a tango. Another test I would recommend you doing, especially if you're experiencing hormonal acne, is a hormone panel test. So this can really help identify imbalances in your cortisol, testosterone, progesterone, estrogen, and your thyroid hormones. And in tandem with that, I think it's really helpful to do a blood panel as well, which can be really helpful in identifying any vitamin deficiencies that you may be experiencing and contributing to your acne. There are essential vitamins and nutrients that play crucial roles in our skin health. And so by assessing your blood levels of these nutrients, you can gain really helpful insights that can help you restore your body's natural balance through dietary adjustments or supplementation. If tests aren't accessible to you, that is totally okay, because the best tool that you have is to listen deeply to your body. What you can do is experiment with eliminating and reintroducing foods and paying very close attention to your digestion and your skin health. I found it really helpful to keep a log of the foods that you're eating and then noting your reactions, and that way you can kind of track any patterns that are emerging. Sometimes our bodies communicate things to us that tests will not. For example, I discovered that certain cruciferous vegetables like broccoli cause me a lot of digestive discomfort, but that didn't show on my test results. I only found that out by listening to my body, feeling the discomfort, and understanding that it wasn't something that my body preferred. That experience of deeply listening to my body really taught me how to put my body's communication first before the recommendations from others, before test results, all of it, because your body holds wisdom, and that wisdom is very sacred sacred and it's meant for you to listen to. If you are someone with a menstrual cycle, then the next free alternative I have is cycle syncing for your hormone health. I am a very strong advocate for this practice. I believe that aligning with our cycles and our body's natural rhythm is not only important for our skin health, but our overall bodily health, our mental health, just your entire well-being. Our cycles hold so much wisdom, and so when we honor them, we support our hormones instead of working against them. I'm actually currently filming a vlog on cycle syncing and how I navigate my cycle to align with my body's needs. But cycle syncing can be a great way to balance your hormones, reset your body, and it does wonders for your skin health. Now that we've covered our foundations and we're waiting for our test results or tracking our gut health, we can really start to analyze our environment, our lifestyle, and see how our surroundings may be contributing to our skin health and our acne. Let's start with household toxins because I feel like this is a really big one that we often overlook. What we bring into our home really matters for our health, our hormones, and our skin. Everyday items like cookware materials, laundry detergents, skincare, hair care, candles, air fresheners, all of these things can contain hidden toxins that our bodies are absorbing on a daily basis. So it's really important to look at your ingredient list and see what is in your products and how it could be potentially impacting you. My rule of thumb is always read the ingredient list, number one. Number two, if you don't understand the ingredient list, take the time to research it and become aware of what you're using. Stay tuned also for a video I'll be making on household swaps that I've made for my health and how I find safer replacements. But after this video, do me a favor, throw away your bleach, throw away your Lysol and your Clorox. All of those things are so bad for your health, and I promise you there are safer ways to disinfect than exposing yourself to carcinogens, throwing your hormones out of whack, and ultimately just allowing these toxins to be absorbed into your skin, which really could be impacting your acne. Also, I know it can be daunting and feel like a financial loss to throw out these products because then you have to go out and buy products, but a free alternative is to make your own. There are so many beautiful ways that you can bring forth your own household items like cleaning supplies and air fresheners to replace these toxic ones. It's super easy to do. You can do it, and I'll elaborate on this further in my upcoming video on household swaps. As many of us know, tending to our hygiene rituals can make a world of a difference with our skin and is very important for our skin health. Oftentimes we think we're doing all of the right things, yet some essential habits may be slipping from our awareness. So these are a few practices that I am dedicated to that have made a world of a difference for my skin. Change your pillowcase regularly. If you think about it, we're sleeping on our pillowcase every day, and each time it's building up oil, bacteria, and dirt that we're just putting our fresh face right back on. What I like to do is use one side night one, the next night I'll flip it, and then the third night I'll swap it for an older pillowcase until wash day, until I'm like ready to wash my pillowcases. And honestly, you'll feel so much better sleeping on a fresh pillowcase knowing that you just did your skincare routine and you're gonna put it on fresh cloth rather than putting it on something that has kind of been soiled. My next essential is washing your hands thoroughly before touching your face. I will admit I take this to the extreme, but I do not play about that. Our hands carry so much dirt and bacteria throughout the day, and it's super easy to transfer that to your face if you aren't conscious about it. I typically try to avoid touching my face whatsoever when I'm in public. Like if I have an itch, I'll use like the inside of my shirt or something. I used to sit in coffee shops like with my hand under my chin a lot or like this, and I always wondered why I had these like pesky breakouts under my chin. But once I stopped doing that, those completely vanished. Also, when I'm doing my skincare routine, if I happen to touch something else while I'm doing it, I will wash my hands in between steps of my skincare. So this might be a little nitpicky, but for example, I won't put my entire hand on the faucet to turn it off after washing my face. I'll kind of like use the outside of my hand. If I'm in between skincare steps and I'm letting something absorb and I maybe go to lotionize my body, I will wash my hands after that. I try to avoid any kind of transfer. And I think that just comes with having experienced such severe acne. I'm very particular about things being transferred to my face. But that is a helpful tip. Just hurt my knee really bad. Ow. Okay, Phone care. Our phones go with us everywhere, and our phones are very, very dirty. So I never, ever put my phone up against my face. If I do need to take a call and put my phone up to my face, I kind of do it at an angle like this. I never let it actually touch my cheek. I used to have really bad cheek breakouts, and I'm sure putting my phone up against my face didn't help and just added to the bacteria and the dirt that was transferring onto my face. So I never do that. I do try to clean my phone. When I think about it, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I do forget to clean my phone, but I do try to remember to clean my phone with some kind of disinfectant, soap, something non-toxic. Okay, this is kind of a funny one, but mindful touch with your partner. I am very affectionate and I'm really lucky to have an affectionate partner as well. But I asked my partner to not touch my face unless his hands are clean. He has a habit of like going like this in my face or like grabbing my chin. He's always like touching my face, which is so cute. I love it, but not if his hands are dirty. It's all cute until I get visited by a pimple friend and then I'm like, guess where that's from? Probably your dirty hands. So we do have one rule, and I just ask him, please do not touch my face unless your hands are clean. That means if he's been touching his phone, I would rather him not touch my face. So if you are in a partnership, this is a gentle rule that you can introduce to keep things sweet but supportive of your skin health. This is a huge one for me. It made such a difference in my skin, and I want to yell it from the rooftops to everyone. Single-use face drying. Towels hold a lot of bacteria even after washing them. I don't know, it's like the fabric and the moisture, and I never ever use a towel to dry my face because of this. Instead, try using a single-use cotton-based option. I like to use those round cotton pads, but another alternative is a paper towel, which is a bit rough, so I always like pat the face if I do run out of cotton swabs. I do like to gently swipe on my face when I use the cotton pad because it removes any extra buildup that may still be on your face after washing. But I promise you, you will not regret making the swap from the towel to a single-use option. It really keeps your skincare ritual very cleanly and refreshing as opposed to using something that could set us back and prevent us from progressing in our skincare goals. My other tip is for product maintenance. If you're anything like me, things can get a little wild in my cabinet. Real wild. So every so often, I like to clean the outside of my skincare products and wipe them down. Over time, our products like to collect buildup because we're constantly grabbing them and oftentimes grabbing other things. And sometimes our hands are just sticky and like have residue on them that get left on the product, as well as just sitting in a cabinet with other things in the environment. You know, eventually they do collect dirt and dust and things of that sort. So it is helpful to do a quick little clean and keep your skincare products fresh and ready for use. Another thing, this is a big PSA, close the toilet lid before you flush and wash your hands thoroughly after using the bathroom. Unfortunately, I have recently discovered that's what makes bathrooms so unclean, is that when you flush, that bacteria seeps into the air and onto you, onto your skin, and that could also be impacting the bacteria and the dirt and the nasties that get on your skin that could clog your pores and cause acne. So it's just something small to keep in mind. I feel like our habits build up to create this really ideal environment for our skin, and that's just something that I keep in mind. Close toilet lid, flush, exit. Wash your hands, exit, clean skin. Other things that are coming to my mind right now, hair care. So if you put a lot of like oils and products in your hair, it is helpful to keep your hair out of your face. Like even something like this, I sometimes hesitate on because I'm nervous that the product in my hair may get on my skin and get into it. But sometimes I take the risk because it's cute. But it is something to keep in mind. If you have your hair in your face a lot, the oils in your hair could be seeping into your skin, clogging your pores. So just another hygiene tip to keep in mind. I'm sure you've seen a lot of skincare routines, but if that is something that you would like me to expand on, let me know. I'd be happy to talk more about my skincare ritual and what that looks like. Speaking of products, this brings us to a really important tip, which is to take a closer look at your skincare products and make sure that they're non-comedogenic, which means that they won't clog your pores. Sometimes a product that we think is good for our skin has sneaky little ingredients in it that end up clogging our pores and causing us more acne. And so we want to prevent that, and we just want to make sure that what we're putting on our skin is good and nourishing for it and won't cause our acne to be exacerbated or cause acne at all. These are some of the ingredients that are considered comedogenic and can clog your pores if you're using them. So make sure to take a look and see if any of these are in your products. If they are, I would suggest that you get rid of those completely. And again, I know that can be daunting and a financial loss. So what I would recommend is, in the meantime, if you can't afford to replace your products with something safer, making your own natural ingredient product would be an option. I can also do a video on that if you would like me to, about how you can make your own products at home, even if it's just for the meantime while you're saving up maybe to replace your products. I've also learned that using harsh chemicals and aggressive treatments aggravate your acne more than it heals it. There may be people who disagree with me on this, but I have had almost every skin treatment in the book. Using these harsh, aggressive treatments like chemical peels, for example, ended up severely destroying my skincare barrier, and I had to really start from ground zero. The more gently I treated my acne, the more it healed and my skincare barrier began to thrive. I used to think that my mental health and my lifestyle had nothing to do with my acne until I realized how wrong I was. Even now, when I experience stress, my skin is the first place that it shows. So keeping in mind that emotions, trauma, and stress manifest physically in your body, and it does impact acne. So what can be helpful is taking a moment and checking in to see how you're moving through each day. Are you making enough time for joy and play? Is there tension, anger, or fear being held in your body? Is your nervous system feeling out of whack? Easy ways to show up for yourself in these areas is taking a moment of pause each day in whatever form meditation looks like for you. I've personally found doing breath work and journaling to be a great way to process my experiences and my emotions. It's really nice to just unload everything on paper, and I view it as like releasing it from my body and putting it elsewhere so that I don't have to hold on to it and it doesn't have to come through my skin. Also, check in with yourself and see if you're getting enough sleep. Are you giving your body enough movement and sweat release to detoxify your lymphatic system? Are you hydrating? An easy way to ensure that your body is getting enough hydration is by adding minerals to your water like Celtic salt or eating hydrating fruits. A good practice is just to keep at the forefront of your mind that our skin mirrors our inner state of being. And so nurturing our inner landscape is just as essential as any skincare routine, if not more important. We really don't talk about this enough, but one of the most transformative steps I took to restoring my skin's health was cultivating a healthy relationship with it. Acne doesn't just impact our skin, it seeps into our self-talk and leaves us in this funk where all that we have left for ourselves are harmful words and thoughts. But come closer, really hear me. Your skin is delicate, just like a flower. Imagine speaking to a plant harshly every day, criticizing it, sending it bad vibes. Eventually, that plant will wither. The same goes for your skin. But if you treat it with kindness and love, it will flourish. I know how hard it is. I struggled with looking in the mirror and forming any kind of kind thought towards my acne. But one day I decided to be my ally and not my enemy. Think of it like a friend who's going through a tough time. Are you going to push them while they're down and say harmful things to them? Or are you the kind of friend that's going to uplift them and support them? I already know what kind of friends you are. You deserve to show up for yourself in the same way. And I promise you, once I started showing up for myself in this way, my skin began to change. I cultivated an environment of love for it, which was not easy, and I still struggle with this. But as long as you're trying and as long as you have love to give, your skin is going to receive it. And just like a flower, in those beautiful words and those beautiful vibes, it will begin to flourish and bloom and thrive. This is still a part of my practice. When I do spot a breakout or a big, bold pimple, I start by saying hello. I just kind of look at it and I'm like, oh, oh, hello there, little pimple. You stopped by. I try to speak nicely to it, and I look at it as kind of like an old friend who's stopping by to visit, and it reminds me that this is temporary. So I'm like, okay, you're just passing through. And then I express gratitude for the pimple and for my body signaling that something happened, something's off. I'm just grateful that my body is able to release whatever was within it that it wanted to push out. It's kind of just a perspective shift. Instead of me being angry at the pimple or starting to just like fall into that dark hole, my life is over because of this pimple, I can't go anywhere. Just building up resentment towards the acne, it helps me look at it as a way of my body being in good health because it's able to communicate with me and talk to me. And then I'm just sure to embrace my healing mindset instead of my correction or like fixing mindset. So instead of attacking the pimple, I try to treat it gently. I'll pop on a pimple patch if I know that I'm tempted to pop it, or I'll try some healing manuka honey and just try to care for it as tenderly as possible. Our skin is a part of us. It's really easy to disassociate from our acne and treat it as something separate, but reminding ourselves that it's still us really helps us to treat it with more love and really shift our perspective. I want to leave you with just some essentials to keep in mind. One being that healing is more than a routine or a set of products. It's about learning to see yourself wholly and tenderly. Your skin is not this canvas for perfection, but instead more so a mirror of your journey. It's this living, responsive part of you. Comparing your skin to someone else's is like comparing your heart or your lungs. It has its own needs, its own rhythms. But what's helpful to keep in mind is that just because someone's skin isn't showing acne or showing inflammation doesn't mean that they're not experiencing other bodily discomfort or struggles. Over time, I've learned to be very grateful for that signal because it's so obvious. Your body is obviously giving you a message. It's helpful to also remember that our skin is human, not flawless. So pores, pimples, texture, they're all a part of the natural life our bodies hold. Beauty standards might try to erase these natural experiences, but the more that we honor them, the more we honor our humanity. And for us women, our hormonal shifts can bring breakouts as a part of our natural rhythms, the life we carry, and the cycles we move through. This is not a flaw, but rather a part of our story. Something that has helped me is when I stop zeroing in on every mark, it helps me treat myself with a lot more compassion. I always think about how mirrors weren't always a thing. I don't know if we were supposed to be able to see ourselves in this much detail and so constantly. Keeping that in mind, you don't always need to be all up in the mirror like this, looking at every single detail on your face. I do this, I am victim of this, and I really try not to, especially if I am experiencing a breakout or I'm in my luteal phase. It's a simple but effective tip. As you're moving through this healing phase, step back so that you can't see every detail. It can make a world of a difference in your mental health and just how you treat yourself in general. I myself have felt the urge to hide when acne appeared, and when I was experiencing acne chronically, I oftentimes didn't leave my house because I didn't want to face the world with my skin. But I began to ask myself, do I really want my days to be measured by my skin's appearance? Do I want to miss life's moments because I'm fixated on imperfections? And when I asked myself those questions, I realized no, I don't want to miss this now moment, this presence, because of the appearance of my skin. Over time, I've learned to find beauty in the realness of skin, the texture, the occasional breakout, the small marks that show my journey. Each of these reflect a part of me, a part of my story, and they aren't something to be shameful of. My last reminder is that your skin is your companion, not a measure of your worth. It doesn't hold your spirit or define the love in your heart. Try standing before the mirror and practice seeing yourself beyond the surface. Your beauty is so much deeper than the skin that you're in. It's the life that you live, the kindness you extend, and the love that you allow yourself to feel. If there's one thing that I've learned, it's that healing is not linear and it is not about chasing perfection. It's taking gentle steps of kindness and listening to your body's wisdom along the way. Remember that your skin is not just skin, it's a part of you, it's alive, it's resilient, and most importantly, it reflects the beautiful complexity of your inner world. I hope that this video inspires you to move forward in self-compassion, to embrace the natural rhythm of your body, and to honor yourself by creating an intuitive space to heal your acne. Please know that you are not alone. I am here to support you, and I'm grateful to walk this path alongside of you. I love you so deeply, and I honor you. Take care. Until next time, soul friends, sending you buckets of love hugs. Mwah.